Look at him. I ain't even doing nothing. Look at him.
He said, I'm not doing anything. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The fact that he, in his mind, it's this typical thing for all of us. I'm not saying that he's the only one doing it. It has happened to me now with dogs. But that we're already anticipating something bad, right? That we're already seeing. We don't understand how we participate by being tense or by not knowing what energy we're bringing into the table, right? That's why I'm always talking about silence, calmness, confidence, love, joy. So if you're going to bring energy, bring those five, especially when a dog is this confused. This dog is just confused. He's afraid. And he's becoming, more adult. And so it's more dangerous. But this is not the first time this dog did it. He's been doing it for a while. Whoa. See, that's a dog that is in a follower state to begin with.
What's up? Yeah, he got to go. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, he got to go. I can't do this. Yeah. He's starting to act like that.
He has to go. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that a dog who doesn't trust is gonna get scared, and then the association of a human passing by, because the whole body language is not dominant. It's not like and more in the confidence side or the fight mode. So fight, flight, avoidance. Right, this dog is cowering, is keeping the body like an arch. The tail is a little stuck. He's confused, right? And then you say, well, what is he confused? Because he doesn't trust. And then on top of that, the human sees this behavior, and the human now is upset, rightfully so. I get it. And the human also becomes afraid. Hey, every time I feed this dog, the dog gets weird, right, or start growling. I remember one of my favorite cases that I rehabilitate about this is the one and only Holly. And she was absolutely taught to do that, right? Because when she was little, Holly behaved this way. So she was unsure, eating really fast. And so what somebody recommended the owners was, hey, don't worry about it. The dog will grow out of it, right? Actually, a vet told the owners of Holly at that time that she will grow out of this insecurity, out of this confusion. And so they let her grow up that way, but they didn't do anything about it. So, at the moment I see the dog is confused, the dog is frustrated, the dog is bored or unhappy, I do something about it, and I don't let the dog ever have one more day of that. No confusion, no unhappiness, no frustration, no boredom, right? So those four things are lethal. They're lethal for a dog because they can lead into not trusting. And at the moment the dog doesn't trust, fear rises. And if a dog is too fearful for a long period of time, then they go from flight to fight, from fear to attacking. And then every time you feed, the brain goes into that. So it's almost like you're training the dog that every time they smell the food, every time you feed the dog have to practice fear and aggression. And that's why a lot of times people use brooms, right? Or they come and take away the plate because they see how the dog, as soon as you remove the plate, this distrust or this fear or this aggression goes away, right? But remember, dogs don't rationalize. There is no knowledge behind instincts. It's all reaction. So we have to learn to control the reactions. We have to learn to control how they breathe, how they hold their body, right? How they associate things. And we have to be more creative when we have a dog that is telling us, hey, listen, every time you feed me, I feel unsure. I feel tense. I feel fearful. And if you don't do anything about it, I'm going to have to practice aggression. And that's just the evolution, right? That's just the evolution. So it's not normal for a dog to lose his gratitude. Like, we always talk about never bite the hand that feeds you. That goes against loyalty. That goes against love. That goes against leadership. That goes against life, right? When we see this behavior, we automatically don't want family members who bite the hand that feeds them, right? Even in human to human, we don't want that behavior. And of course, when a dog expresses that way, and is a pit bull, or any close to a pit bull, or a boxer, for example, it just looks really strong. It just looks really aggressive. It terrifies most of the people, and I understand why this guy said you got to go.
Yeah, he got to go. I can't do this one. Look at him. I ain't even doing nothing. Look at him.
He said, "I'm not doing anything." Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The fact that he, in his mind, it's this typical thing for all of us. I'm not saying that he's the only one doing it. It has happened to me now with dogs, but that we're already anticipating something bad, right? That we're already seeing. We don't understand how we participate by being tense or by not knowing what energy we're bringing into the table, right? That's why I'm always talking about silence, calmness, confidence, love, joy. So if you're going to bring energy, bring those five, especially when a dog is this confused. This dog is just confused. He's afraid. And he's becoming, more adult. And so it's more dangerous. But this is not the first time this dog did it. He's been doing it for a while.
Look at him.
He's holding a lot. So watch the body language. Another dog that is telling you, I am more afraid than what you ever can imagine. Look at my tail. Look at my shoulders. Look at my teeth. Everything is telling you that I'm really afraid, but I want to eat, so I'm confused. Why do I practice this to somebody that I live with? Right? So this is where it's very important to understand dog psychology. It's very important to understand the energy. It's very important to understand technique. How do we help someone like this, right?
I ain't doing nothing.
The fact that he keeps talking at the moment where the dog is feeling that way, you can see his little eyes becoming red, and then the film goes, that's the Brunello. The Brunello episode, you can see very clear, how when the mind is not in the right place, or is green or is red. And those are just signals where you human, or where we human can learn, what's happening inside the mind of a dog. But if we keep talking and say, I'm not doing nothing, and what's happening in that dog's mind is recording his voice, right? So even when the guy's talking to somebody else and he says, I'm not doing nothing, and the dog hears it, it will remind this moment. So that's conditioning, right? That's best. It's best. Don't say anything. Send good vibration. Just breathe. Be quiet. Claim your space. Put a leash on the dog. Elevate him. I will feed this dog on a table, right? In a new place. I will bring another dog older than this dog. They can become friends, and then the dog learn to be calm and quiet and wait for his turn. So when you feed him, the dog is in a peaceful state. This dog is not in a peaceful state and is still being fed. So it's a lot of little things. It's a lot of little things that you can change, and you can help this dog recover his trust, right? Because he's absolutely confused.
Look, I ain't doing nothing. Look at him.
The worst part is if this guy, decides to take the dog to the shelter, give it to a rescue organization, family member, friend, and you tell them, hey, the dog is fine until you feed him. And, many theories can come. The dog, is something wrong with the dog. And I heard many things where people say, well, the devil goes inside, or a bad spirit goes inside every time he eats. Is something? I heard them all, right? But unfortunately, this dog will not make it. So please, it's very important, when you have this is a back of the pack dog, okay? It's a Pitbull back of the pack dog, and only back of the pack dogs become this afraid, be this confused. It's a fine line between being sensitive and then it goes into fear. So very important, when you have a dog that is back of the pack and it starts showing you signs that he is tense around food, change the pattern, change even where you feed him, right? Just put the plate a little higher so the dog doesn't have to be too much on top of it, right? Tables, I love to put a dog on a table, right? Of course, I like to make sure this dog sees a healthy dog eating, right? And that's why it's so important, the community, the pack leadership community. That's why, hey guys, it's not just you training your dog, but if your neighbor has a dog that is well behaved, you need him. You need him to be part of the community. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a dog. It takes a pack to rehabilitate a dog. All my rehabilitations, the only reason why I can be 100% successful is because I have other members in my community that are willing to pitch in, and they're good role models, such as Rio, right? A bird can help a dog. This dog will benefit with Rio, because Rio will completely claim the ball, and the dog would not understand why this bird has so much power, but he will understand that this bird is creating peace. And as soon as the dog becomes peaceful, I will offer food slowly until the dog relaxes, becomes calm, and the trauma of not feeling secure or trusting while he was eating, it goes away, right? It just goes away. Can we rehabilitate this dog? Absolutely. We're still on time, but people have to put the time, right? It's not hard to learn. What's hard is the homework to do it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and join me on my mission of better humans, better planet.